Here's Jupiter, Chapter 7, Dinner Time. Then the bell rang and Johnny's heart sank, and it was the worst time of the day, lunch. It was the time of day when he thought he was being studied under a huge microscope. All eyes were on him, and he could feel himself going red. Something else he hated, and then the spot on the end of his nose began to glow like a beacon. Johnny put his head down lower to try and make himself look as small as possible. Then he heard people snickering and whispering about him. It was so obvious that he wanted to run away. But it didn't matter where he ran, his nose would still be there with him, he thought sadly. Then the scraping of a chair made him reluctantly look up, and she was before him, the girl of his dreams. The prettiest girl in the school sat at his table, looking straight at his big conch, he thought. But for once he was wrong. She didn't seem too interested in his nose. She seemed more interested in what he had to say. Maybe she's hiding it, a thought went off in his head, but he chose to ignore it. Hi, I'm Anna, she said, and she offered him her hand. He shook it as strongly as he could, as he didn't want to appear weak. Steady on, she said. I don't want to end up in hospital. Johnny laughed and it broke the ice. She asked him about his day and what he liked about school. And because he wanted to make a good impression, he decided not to mention his shrinking episode. It was hard for Johnny not to think about his nose, but she was so enthusiastic that she kept his dark thoughts at bay. She's like a human lighthouse, Johnny thought, impressed. Johnny noticed that the other boys from school were looking over at them enviously, and it made him feel good. It was a rare feeling, and for once he felt cool.